There I am. Howdy, howdy, howdy. As Jeff Probst says, or used to say, come on in. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Welcome to another Monday night, which means another night of Cliff Notes Live. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Let me start off with a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love reality TV. I love Big Brother. And I love all you guys that come hang out with me every Monday night. Those of you watching live and those of you who watch a replay, don't ever want to forget you guys either. Welcome one and all to God, it's been so hot outside down here in Houston. It's definitely summertime. Definitely summertime means it's definitely Big Brother time. 1 month to go. You see the smile. The excitement's starting to build up a little bit. So we'll certainly talk about that. But before we do, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to Cliff Notes Live, my YouTube channel. Please consider maybe turning on the old notifications and hitting a thumbs up as well. God, just 1 month. I guess it's a little more than a month, but not much more than a month. But 32 days, something like that. And I'm going to be sitting here watching live feeds every night, every day, putting out new content, talking about the overnight feed recaps and talking about people that we don't even know who they are right now. And Big Brother starts in a month, which means 1 month and about 3 days. We'll know everything possible to know about these people. And we'll have already made decisions on who we like, who we don't like, who we're cheering for, who we're cheering against. And we're going to, as always, we'll make all kinds of assumptions. Some of them will prove us wrong, which I actually like seeing. Yeah, we're just about there. So, we'll talk about that a little bit. I want to hear what rumors y'all maybe have heard and all that. Before we do, though, let me check outside. Let me check and see who's online, and then we'll just get right into it. Patricia Miller. Patricia, first one in. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope you're doing fantastic. Marilyn Sutherland as well. Howdy, Marilyn. Big Jake out there. Thank you. Cliff Rocks. Mark Taylor out there as well. Cindy Hire. Hey, Cindy. Carol Mosier. Karen Loveland. Ma. Last Cliff Notes is a 19-year-old. Well, Ma, congratulations. A little early, but not that early. Now, when you say that, you're getting ready to turn 20, which means 1 year from now, you're going to turn 21. And you know what that means, right? You can try out for Big Brother. Yeah, we're going to be cheering you on when you make it onto that show. And wouldn't that be cool? Happy birthday early, Ma. I'll do it in a second. We need to do a little celebrating. But happy birthday to you. Let's see who else. Marilyn, I think I said your name before, but that's all right. Michelle Moore, Carol Mosier. Let's see who else. Y'all are just talking about Mindful Reality. I love that login name. Let's see. Paul Long, howdy, Paul. Chaz is out there. Howdy, Chaz. Amanda's out there. Andy W. White, Garrett. Howdy, White. Colleen and Misfire. Misfire, how are you, my friend? Tammy Flanagan. And I think that's about it. I got all kinds of folks out there. All right. Welcome aboard to all of y'all. Before we go any further, because you know the way I am, I start talking, especially when I get into something I'm passionate about, like reality TV. And then I forget everything I had planned. So before we go any further, Ma, just as a special, just for you, my friend, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ma. Happy birthday to you and many more. Feliz cumpleaños, too. Yeah, we'll just leave it in the English, but happy birthday to a friend. Can't believe it's been that long. You've been out here and we've been shooting the bull, doing the show and all that. So thank you. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Well, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. Oh, maybe some Big Brother. A few questions, then I'll get into it a little bit. Mark Taylor, are they working with the contestants of Big Brother? If not, when do they start? It depends on what you mean by working. Here's what I think. Right now, there are probably a few people not with casting. I have a feeling casting by now, month out, they may still be involved in the process, but for the most part, casting is probably put out the people that they want to be on that they think should be on the show. CBS is looking at them and saying, yeah, looks good. Who knows? CBS is making some of the final calls, but for the most part, I think names have been settled on. What's probably happening right now is a lot of behind the scenes. People starting to figure out, because the opening show, they always have to film people in their hometown. So people are starting to reach out saying, hey, who could we film in Bohunk, Indiana, or wherever it may be? Let's make sure we start getting some sites lined up. Let me put it during mine. I tried out early in the process. Eventually, they reached out and said, Cliff, you still aren't on the show. We're not saying that. But if you do make it on the show, what represents you? What do you think would be a good, intro shot for you? And I said, I don't know, be in the outdoors, be with the family, fishing, something like that. Or being on an oil rig was the other thing I talked about. And so they start asking me questions about, well, where would you do things like that? And so it very well could be we're starting to get into that process where they're starting to think about filming those intro shots and figuring out how they're going to spin you as a person. God, they filmed a lot of things. One of the very first things they filmed was me finding my key. And one take, it wasn't staged or anything else. I truly didn't know until I saw the key that I was going to be on the show. I thought there was a good chance, but until then, I didn't really know for certain. But after that, they filmed a lot of stuff. Just me acting goofy and yelling at alligators and talking about every country that I've ever been to, and just a lot of stuff. So I think they're planning a lot of that. Some of the people with the production company are starting to coordinate and work out families and make sure all their releases are signed with immediate family members. There's a lot of background stuff that happens. So I think that's what when you say working on, I think that's what they mean. Have they been grabbed? Nah. And, I don't know when that'll happen because with me, since we started before 4th of July, they just grabbed us whenever. I will say this, from the time they grabbed the first person or two until they grabbed the last of us, it was about a week period that it took. So some people were in sequester a lot longer than others. Part of it's just coordinating all the people and all of that, and they don't want anyone seeing each other in the airport. We wouldn't know anyway, but so I don't think that's happened yet, but I expect somewhere maybe right after the 4th. That's probably not enough time. Based on July 10th start, they'll probably grab them, say the 1st of July, 2nd of July, somewhere right around there. Get them off into a sequester and then let the adventure begin. So yeah, not yet, but we're getting close. But a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on right now, and there's some people getting all kinds of excited on both sides, in front of the camera and the production people behind the camera as well. They've got to get excited, right? I would hope that even after 26 years, that this isn't so blah, it's just a job. I hope every year they think, oh, this is going to be the best one ever. Let's give twists that'll make it so exciting. And you always have to be trying to improve with everything you do, right? So yeah, everyone's working right now, working hard. All right, let's see. Michelle Moore saying, Ma, you and Cliff should try out for Wipeout. Yeah, Wipeout would be my kind of show. I forget the challenge. I'm not going to run up Pikes Peak or a 4,000 foot mountain and I'm gonna be first one to get there. Yeah, nah, I'm not doing that stuff with a 70-pound log on my back. That's not my kind of show. My kind of show is running through styrofoam and bouncing off big balls and acting the fool. I don't even have to practice that much for that stuff. I loved Wipeout. Now they came back and they did another like a redo of Wipeout. It wasn't nearly as good the second time around. The original Wipeout, spot on, fantastic show because they did not take themselves seriously at all. Now, Ma, I'd do Wipeout with you in a second. We may not win, but we would have fun doing it, right? I'd have a blast doing that. All right, Mark is saying, what was the game in Big Brother you were glad you had to participate in? So which challenge of all the ones we did? It's really cool. I got to do the iconic challenges, the slip and slide, the OTEV, those kind, the wall. I did like 26 challenges. There's only 2 I missed out on. I did everything compared to everyone else. Seems like partially because I was on the block every single week, it seems like, but I competed in all but 2 veto competitions, all but 1 HOH competition. So I did a lot of competitions in there. What was the one I was most glad that I did? Maybe it's hide and go veto, just because I spent so much time in the house looking around, trying to find where I could possibly hide the hide and go veto. I spent so much time. I knew that house, every nook and cranny, every hiding spot. I had them all down pat. When we did our hide and go veto, all of us but one. There must have been, I guess, 6 of us in there at times, 7 of us. I think 7. Seems like everyone except Holly got to do hide and go veto. And she had to just sit there and watch. It would have killed me if I didn't get to do it. Now, on the other hand, I got to do it because I was on the block against Jessica that week, which I did not want Jessica to go home. I really wanted to work with her. Kat Dunn called me and said, you betrayed us. No, I just was having to make deals to save myself. Would have worked with Jessica as long as I could. But I guess I would have rather not been on the block and not got to play it. But I was very happy I got to play hide and go veto just because how cool is it? I mean, had a blast doing it. And I should have won. Jackson Mickey betrayed me. But I should have won. I had a good hide spot. Yeah, maybe that's my favorite mark. All right. Michelle is saying, how many times did Jackson say unwavering on your season? You know, I don't remember that term as much. It's funny. There's things that I didn't really pick up on until I got out, and people laughing about things like Christy Murphy and her chewing. And I never even thought of it. It just didn't dawn on me. Maybe I was too close to the action and all that. But no, you know what Jackson Mickey said that just drove me bonkers was that freaking chess, but not checkers. I got it. I got it the first 100 times you said it in the first day we were in the freaking house. I mean, truly, yeah, it wasn't just that one phrase, but everything with him and Jack Matthews both had to be said at about 50% more decibels than you would actually need in that house. Lord, I could be asleep in the back bedroom and I could hear them yelling back and forth in the bathroom. Now, coming from a guy whose mouth was big enough he got overheard, for me to complain about how loud it was in that house at times, that ought to give you an indication about just how echoey and loud sometimes those guys could be. Him, chess but not checkers, just I would hear that and I just go, oh, stop it, just stop, come up with a new line. And it didn't happen, but I couldn't show it. I get it, I understand completely. You had to play along. Here's the thing, things that y'all probably heard on the live feeds that were minor little things would start to drive us crazy in the house because you heard it over and over and over again. Now, Kat Dunn, are you conspiring against me? Funny at first. Actually, at first, a little bit. She was a little too paranoid, and it was not a joke. And it almost cost her spot in the house. Then she turned it into a joke, and it was funny. Then you started saying, all right, yeah, it's kind of worn its welcome thin. Manifest the truth, bro. I heard that too many times. Everything starts wearing on you. You're walking around on pins and needles after a while, just because you're having to listen to the same old 15 knuckleheads talk the entire time. And I'm sure there's things I said that drove them. I was walking around with Orwell. I know that drove them crazy. We all just had to be very tolerant. Some were more tolerant than others. We'll just leave it at that. All right, let's see. Can you tell it wore on you emotionally, having to just endure? That's the word I'm having to endure for 93 days that I did. 99 days for Jackson and Holly and Nicole. 93 days of having to endure everything. And it's not even that you have to put up with it, but you have to put up with it and smile and laugh and not act like it bothers you at all, because there's too many people looking for any kind of excuse to put you all away kind of deal. So yeah, it was that's probably where some of PTSD comes from, having to deal with that. All right, Wyatt Garrett saying going to the Parker County Sheriff's Posse Rodeo in Weatherford, Texas. Whoa, Weatherford, Texas. For those of you who don't know, Weatherford, a little west of Fort Worth. When I first got out of school, I was working on a drilling rig out of Breckenridge, Texas, which is in Palo Pinto County, a little bit further west of Fort Worth than Weatherford is. And when I didn't have to work, and I worked a lot, but when I didn't have to work on a weekend, sometimes I would try to come home, and I'd always drive through Weatherford. And there's two things I remember about that city. One, beautiful courthouse, a typical square, city square, rural city square with a big courthouse in the middle. I remember that, and I remember McDonald's because I would always stop at that McDonald's on the way through, and that was my return to civilization. That was the nearest McDonald's to where I was. Yeah, Breckenridge, Texas, not Colorado. Big difference between the two. And I'd see that McDonald's, like, oh, finally, I made it to civilization again. So I'd get my McDonald's, drive around the courthouse, and then head the rest of the way home. So, all right, well, have fun, Wyatt. Enjoy the rodeo. The rodeos out in these rural counties are always so much fun because you get a lot of real cowboys watching and participating, and nothing fancy about it, but lots of fun. I went to a rodeo once. It was really cool. I was in Villahermosa, Mexico, of all places. I was down there for some business trips and everything. In the hotel room, bored to tears. God, I'm so tired of being in here. So I thought I'm going to go on a little bit of a walkabout. I did a lot of walkabouts when I traveled. I would just start heading some direction, especially when I was staying somewhere, a hotel. It was tall enough I could always look back and see where it was, so I wouldn't get too lost. Started walking just to see if I could find some, kind of hole in the wall food places, things like that. I like to live on the wild side, but I passed this arena and they had a Mexican rodeo going on, which was really cool. I went in there and it was a lot of, the cowboys were dressed much more colorfully. They had those big lariats and they were doing the stuff where they're jumping through it, and they were playing mariachi music, and it was just cool. It was a rodeo, and yet it was a little bit different kind of rodeo than I was used to. So it was a fun experience. All right, yeah, as I have fun at the rodeo, Wyatt, I am sure you will, my friend. All right, let's see. Mindful Reality. I love that login name. Says, what do you think of the increased feed cuts? Yeah, it's hard. I obviously I don't like it. You always wonder. I don't mind it when I think there's a reason for it. Yeah, during my season, we had a wall yeller. I understand why the feed's cut. Of course, I wasn't aware, but I figured they were cut. But other seasons where you have wall yellers, I get it that there may be things. I understand on Thursdays, there's so much going on in that house getting ready for the live episode, and people get locked down while production does stuff. So I understand there's certain periods of time where you have to have the feeds cut. I understand there's certain periods of time where feeds have to be cut shortly because someone is humming or someone is saying something that shouldn't be said. Things like that. I get why you have little short gaps, but sometimes, especially in the last year or two, it sure seems like sometimes these feeds will go down, 12, 14, 16 hours. And then they come back and nothing has changed. You always think, oh, maybe there's some big twist challenge taking place, or someone got in a fight, someone self-evicted. Maybe they just do it to create all kinds of rumors and get more people talking. I guess. I don't know. But then they come back and it's just the same old, and you just wonder, what in the world? Was there a reason, or were you just doing it to be mean to the people watching live feeds? So when I think it's justified, I don't have a huge issue with it. But when it seems like it's just because maybe a couple of cameramen were late getting to work or something, or I don't know. But they had a production meeting going on in the back room and didn't have anyone to actually turn the cameras. I don't know. But those are the ones that irritate me. Yes, it bothers me when the live feeds aren't on. If for no other reason, I love little cats, kittens and puppies. I love them. But I've seen way too many over the last decade or however many they've been showing those, whatever animal shelter that is nearby. The ones we saw at the very beginning, they're old and gray by now. But the music and the kittens and the puppies, I want to see the people in the house. I'm just like the rest of y'all. When the light feeds aren't on, I get a little peeved sometimes. But I get it. Karen Loveland saying, what's your background tonight? All right, well, here's the thing. I've been trying to figure out what's the theme this year. I mentioned last time that I've heard that they're going to still have some kind of AI battle arena, something or other. But, in last season, it was all AI intelligence. The season before, it was the Netherworld, the 4 multiverses or whatever. This year we saw, was it just about a week ago? I can't remember if it was before or after I did my Monday night show. I think it was after. Julie's Chin showed up. She's got some kind of white, weird background image or whatever. But the main thing is she's holding a manila folder that says top secret. And she's got her CBS badge on. Like you use your badge to get into secret headquarters or something like that. So I don't know if that means anything. If that means this could be a top secret agent, how that'd be kind of cool. If it's a James Bond themed, and you could do that so cool. And you can't call it James Bond unless they own the rights. Maybe they do, but a spy themed year. Just think you could have one room that's all suave and cool and blacks and golds and silvers and you have martini glasses all over things like that. And then you could have the have not room could be the villain's hideout, and it'd be a cave or something with sharks swimming on in a pool in the middle, or I don't know, very uncomfortable beds with buzz saws that swing through the middle of them every once in a while. Maybe not real ones, but you know what I mean. You could have fun with it, just doing spies and the cool stuff and the less cool, and do all that. Now, here's one thing: if you got a spy themed season, you got to have a spy, right, of some sort. And if they do it, I really hope it's not America's Player like they had back in season 8 with Eric Stein, where he was not allowed to make his own decisions, where America basically voted and forced him to do things. Only reason Evil Dick won that season is because Eric Stein was forced not to send him out the door. But I always felt bad for Eric Stein that he didn't really get to play the game. So that'd be a little tough. But if you had, and you remember season 16, you had America's, what did they call them? America's Team or whatever. And Donnie and Derek and Frankie had to do the backs or whatever, the boy band. And there's been other times where I don't remember. Anyway, if they just have to do little tasks to get some money and things like that, I'm cool with that. I kind of would like to see it if every week, if it wasn't the same person from start to finish. I hope they don't bring in some person to say, hey, this season, just so you know, you're going to be America's Player, and every week we're going to be giving you tasks. I think it'd be kind of fun if they started off saying, all right, guys, every week one of you is going to be voted on, picked on randomly, however it works out. One of you is going to be the week's spy, and you're going to have certain tasks. And if you do those tasks, you're going to get extra money, or maybe not extra money. If you do those tasks, maybe you're going to get an extra advantage. If you don't do it, maybe there's going to be some kind of disadvantage, but no one's ever going to know who's the spy or not the spy. And it's going to change every week. If they did that, people would be looking at each other, and everything you did, they would be wondering if it was done because that's who you are or because there's some ulterior motive. You talk about creating an extra level of paranoia. I know during my season, they were convinced that I was America's Player because I was carrying Orwell. Remember Orwell? I haven't shown him since my season. Orwell, little stuffed owl. He was the mascot of Big Brother After Dark on True TV. I think it's True TV, right? That show went away, so therefore Orwell went away, unfortunately. But I carried around Orwell, especially while I knew True TV was going to be on After Dark. Let's see. Pop TV. Yeah, Pop TV. Thank you. I would carry Orwell around. Well, everyone in the house, especially Tommy and Christy and Jack, they thought I was carrying Orwell around as some kind of task, that I had to hold on to that freaking owl to get some kind of extra money. And so while I was in the shower, Tommy ran down, grabbed Orwell, hid Orwell upstairs in the HOH room. And I started looking around, couldn't find him. Saying, that's so weird. Where did Orwell go? We don't know. We don't know. And I wasn't going to worry too much about it. Whatever. It's just a stuffed animal. So I said, all right, well, I'm not staying up late looking for him. I'm going to bed. But meanwhile, everyone else had to act like they were looking for that owl, so that, because they were so worried that I would know that they had done it. So they went overboard trying to find that owl. And then a little bit later, someone said something about me carrying around the owl. And I said, yeah, I'm just doing it because I know when Pop TV is on and Big Brother After Dark, if I've got the owl, the camera's probably going to be on me because I'm holding their mascot, right? I mean, there's something going on up here sometimes. So if I'm holding the owl, I think Pop TV will want the cameras on me just a little bit more, which means I get more screen time to talk to my family and just act goofy and do all the stuff that I did in the house. So there's no ulterior motive other than me just being narcissistic, I guess. Well, they heard that, and then they all felt horrible that they had taken it, and that they were keeping me from being able to see my family through the lens of TV, so to speak. And so then they really felt bad, but they didn't know how to return the owl. Finally, they left it in the storeroom at one point. Much later in the season, Tommy said, Cliff, I got to tell you, I took Orwell. And he apologized to me, and he looked like he was so certain that I was going to be all upset and irritated. It's like, hey, Tommy, it's a stuffed animal. I think I'm okay with it. I'm playing for $1 million. I think that's not way up there in the top priorities in my mind right now going on. I got more stuff to worry about, Tommy, but he was worried about it, and it was fine. We had a laugh. We still laugh about it, but later I thought, well, even if I was America's player, why in the heck did you not want me to get 20,000 just for whatever the number could have been? Why are you gonna be mean to me like that? Yeah, mean enough making the 6 shooters and all that didn't involve me. So anyway, whatever. I didn't completely finish the question. So the whole spy stuff, because of all that, I just thought James Bond and all just seemed like appropriate as we get into the Big Brother season. So that's the background there. Somewhere in there's a yeah, y'all know the dun 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 and the barrel and all. I love James Bond as a kid. One of my all-time favorite. I watched every one of those movies growing up over and over and over again. All right, Maz saying Octopussy was released on June 10th, 1983. What a cool film to share a birthday with. 5 bags of popcorn. Octopussy. I remember that one. My favorite forever was Goldfinger with Odd Job. He drove an Aston Martin. I used to have a little, I don't think it was Hot Wheels, but a little model car that had little buttons that you could push that would cause the ejection seat to go off. And I had a little smoke pop out of the back and things like that, little plastic smoke. I don't remember. I love me some James Bond growing up. My dad watched a lot of James Bond, so I watched a lot of James Bond. Haven't watched as much lately, but yeah, love Ian Fleming. Love everything about the James Bond. I love the music. So yeah, so there you go. I thought it was appropriate, and we'll see. I'd be fine if they have a spy themed season. That seems kind of cool to me. All right, Misfire saying, who's the voice of Otev? Boris from Big Brother Canada. Boris. Was Boris a moose? I think he was, but I could be wrong. It seems like if it was Moose, it'd be Mickey the Moose or something. I don't know. But who was the voice of Otev? I don't know. Yeah, y'all know. All right. A little insight. It was so funny. When we filmed the Otev scene, if you recall, we're all at the top of the ramp, water's coming down and all that. Otev for us was Otev the pigeon. Otev the pigeon was up there. Well, we get up there, and the production quickly realizes that Otev the pigeon isn't able to speak the way they want it to. The way it works is someone standing behind, pulling on strings, causing the eyes to go up and down and the mouth to open and close. It's just someone back behind pulling strings. Well, some of the strings had broken or were tangled up. And as soon as they start filming, and Otev, hi, house guests, I'm Otev the pigeon. And they realize that the mouth's not working, and cut. We had to sit up there. It seemed like forever. Probably wasn't more than 30 minutes, but we had to sit up there and just wait while they fiddled behind. We couldn't see what they were doing because it was behind the set. But while someone fiddled and did things, every once in a while you'd see the mouth open and close. And finally they had it all going, and we were ready to go. Meanwhile, I'm nervous. I'm on the block that week. Kat and I are both on the block, and I really want to win this thing, and just nerves building up. It's cold up there. It was. I'll give y'all another little inside secret on that one. Every week, lots of weeks, when we do a competition, they give us a costume to put on, right? Well, that week they had costumes as a pair of shorts and like a tank top of some sort. I don't remember. I think it was a tank top. The pants they gave me, and they took all these sizes. The pants they gave me were too big. And I think it's because by that time in the season, I actually was losing weight while I was in that house because I didn't have access to Big Brother. I didn't have access to McDonald's and junk food and all that. And I'd actually lost enough weight that when I put these shorts on, they were falling down. It's like, well, I can't even run or anything, or these shorts are going to fall down to my ankles and I'm going to have a whole different kind of viral meme online. And so, Cliff, we're sorry, we can't fix the shorts at this point. So I ran and got, I don't remember where I got from. I got a rope from something. I don't remember what it was, part of a set somewhere, part of the display. I went and grabbed a rope, was able to put it through my belt loops and tied it off on the front. Maybe it's fishing line. I think that's what it was. Anyway, wrapped it around, tied my shorts up super tight. And sure enough, then we get outside, we find out it's OTEV. My britches would have fallen down so quick doing that particular episode if it wasn't for that. So yeah, I felt very fortunate that I proactively had prepared for it, because clothes just didn't quite fit sometimes. They did an amazing job to get those things ready for us so quickly, but that particular week, they didn't recognize I was doing such a good job with the weight loss, and just about lost my drawers in the middle of a competition. Wouldn't that have been something? Yeah, OTEV may have a few comments to say on that. And in that mud and everything, they never found them again. I just had to go inside and I've been there in all my glory, so to speak. All right. I remember so much about that competition. All right. Karen Loveland is saying, on Hide and Go Veto, where was your hiding spot and how did they turn on you? All right. My hiding spot was in the front, in the bathroom. There were some drawers, and all the drawers, when you tried to pull the drawers out, they wouldn't come all the way out. They would only come most of the way, and then that was it. In my investigating, I figured out that if you stuck your fingers up underneath those drawers, there were two little clasps. And if you triggered those clasps just right, then you could take the drawer out. But otherwise, it didn't come out all that way. So I thought, all right, if I put something underneath these drawers, unless someone knows how to take that drawer out, they won't find it. They never will find it. So that was a hiding spot. My primary hiding spot was actually, if you remember our season, we had a Winnebago or an RV of some sort, a Gulfstream or something, big silver shell looking RV. One of the bedrooms was inside, and the outer bedroom looked like the outside of this Airstream. Well, there was a wheel, a tire, and I realized that if you could reach up in that wheel well, it went all the way up as far as my hand would reach up in that wheel well. And the rule was you had to hide it somewhere that you could retrieve it within 30 seconds if production asked you to do it. That was kind of the limit. It couldn't be so hidden away that it took more than 30 seconds. So I said, all right, well, that's fine. I'm going to stick it up in this wheel well, and then I'm going to take someone's pillow and I'm going to stick it up behind the Hide and Go Veto. So if someone sticks their hand up, they're barely going to have enough room to get up there. But when they do, they're just going to feel a barrier, but the pillow, and not realize that the Hide and Go Veto is behind it. I really thought that was a perfect spot. The problem was that we didn't have vetoes. I was picturing like little veto passes, little yellow things like that. Instead, we had big red stop signs about this big. And when I saw that, I thought, gosh, I'm not sure. I think that may be too big to fit up in the wheel well. And so as a result, I did put it there. I put it in the bathroom drawer instead. So that was where I hid it. And I still thought it was a good spot. How I got betrayed, Jackson, Mickey, and I had actually talked to each other, Nicole as well. All three of us had talked and said, look, if Hide and Go Veto comes up, it's going to be in the next week or two. And really, none of us is ready to send the other person home. Why don't we tell each other where we're going to hide our vetoes? Because that way, if you find it, leave it alone, and we can make sure we try to take out someone else, make sure someone else doesn't win veto that we don't want to win veto. And so we all agreed on that. Holly wasn't competing, but Jackson and Nicole and I all said, we're going to tell each other where we hit our vetoes. And so after I hid mine, when I had a chance, I kind of came up and whispered to Mickey, bathroom. Well, after a while, and then he didn't really care about winning. I think maybe he was HOH that week anyway, so it didn't really matter to him. He just barely hit his. It got discovered the first round. We went multiple rounds, and no, it came down to Tommy versus myself. Neither one of us, I don't know if it's a round or two, no one found our veto. And I thought, well, this is pretty good because I know Nicole and Mickey, even if they find it, aren't going to reveal it. So I should be in good shape. And then all of a sudden, I see Jackson Mickey come out on his round, and he's got one that he discovered. I thought, well, good. It's not mine. It's got to be Tommy's, right? So I've just won this thing. Well, then they pop it open, and it was Tommy. I mean, it was mine. It wasn't Tommy. So Tommy won it. And I came up to him after. I said, "What's the deal? I told you where I hid it." "I'm sorry, Cliff. I didn't hear you. I thought you said bedroom." I said, "No, I said bathroom." "I'm sorry. I thought you said bedroom." I didn't really believe it then. I don't believe it now. I think he just wanted an extra win, just for ego, for strategy, for resume building, whatever. I think part of it as well, Jackson and Tommy had an alliance, an agreement the whole time that they kept secret. And I think it may have started when they were up on the wall together, where they agreed not to put each other up. That's one of the reasons I was so ready to send Tommy home at the end, because yeah, I know Mickey and Holly were tight, but Tommy and Mickey were tight as well. And they had this kind of secret agreement. And so I think he probably was fine with Tommy winning the veto, because he knew Tommy would not do something crazy either. And so anyway, yeah, he betrayed me, and I was a little chapped. He brushed it off, saying he misunderstood what I said. Nah, he didn't say. He just couldn't stand not winning a competition. It was irritated me, probably more than anything else in that house. That may have irritated me, because I really wanted to win that competition, but it is what it is. All right, Clinton Merchant. Clinton, how are you doing, sir? Surprised no one ever thought of putting in the toilet and just leaving the occupied sign on the door. They had rules, and I can't remember what they all are. One of the rules, it couldn't be higher than the top of the window. You couldn't put it up high. It had to be mirror level or below. I think, and you couldn't put, there were certain things that they had on a list that you couldn't put it in. And I think the bathroom may have been one of those, the actual toilet stall itself, for hygiene purposes. I know another one, there was in the boat room, we had a bed that was kind of laying on a platform that was the shape of a boat. I'd found a little hole in there, and I thought, God, if I slid it in, you could probably get it inside there. But that was considered a structural defect or something like that. There was also some little holes under the cabinets in the kitchen, and I don't think it would have fit. But there were certain things that they said you can't put it here, 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 because it's considered dangerous, or it could affect the integrity of the house. I don't know. They had some kind of reason, but yeah, Clinton, I think the toilet, the stall was an area where you couldn't do it. And I want to say the showers may have been as well, because I know Nicole at one point, and I don't think she ended up putting it there. If y'all remember the season, tell me. But at one point, she wanted to put it between the two shower curtains. Remember, we've got the hot water and the cold water stalls, two shower stalls in there, a shower curtain. God, I can't believe I sat there and took showers with someone on the other side of that shower curtain. But I think it was two shower curtains, and she wanted to put it between those two shower curtains, thinking if anyone looked in from either side, they wouldn't see it. And either she wasn't allowed to, or she couldn't figure out a way to hang it, because the weight would just cause it to fall over. There was something that I think she ended up not doing it, but that was her original hiding spot, which I thought was pretty smart, but ended up not doing it. But yeah, good idea, Clinton. But I think they wanted us to kind of stay. The other thing too, and this is probably the reason, Clinton, you can't do it. They've got a camera in the bathroom. How scary is that? But they don't have a camera that usually is turned on, and there's not a lot of lighting in there. And so they didn't want someone hiding something that they maybe, if someone found it, they wouldn't have on camera. So toilet stall, off limits. I can't say I'm really upset with that. If someone hid it in there, yeah, I don't want to be grabbing it and carrying it out. And spend as little time as possible in there. But yeah, that was off limits. All right. Misfire saying, is 93 days shorter than a Survivor season? No, nowhere close. And Ma saying a Big Brother season like 3 times the Survivor one. That's why Suri got exhausted so fast. Yeah, Ma is absolutely right on that one, Misfire. Survivor used to be 42 days. Then for budget reasons, I don't know, Jeff's got a hot date back in the States or something. I don't know. But for whatever reason, it went from 42 days to 29 days. So yeah, 29 days for Survivor. Big Brother, now ours was 99 days. The season's shortened a little bit since then. I think last season was 87 days, something like that, but still a lot longer than Survivor. Heck, day 29, when they crowned the winner on Survivor, I hadn't even been booted out of the house yet. That I was booted out on day 30 and then won the battle back and won HOH. So we hadn't even had our fourth eviction of my season, and Survivor season was already over. So it's nowhere close to the same length of time. And Ma's right. Sari talked about that a few times, that Survivor was everything, always something going on. You're always short on time. You're always having to talk to someone. With Big Brother, you've got a lot of downtime. You don't always notice it when you're watching the show, especially if you just watch the episodes. But even if you watch the live feeds, you don't realize just how much downtime we've got while we're stuck in that house. So, and I think some of it's intentional. When you get bored, your mind starts spinning and you start lashing out at people and you get cabin fever and just all kinds of bad things happen. But yeah, Big Brother all summer long. Survivor, it's the reason they film 2 Survivors a year and only one Big Brother. I started off before I went on Big Brother saying I would never spend an entire summer inside that house. That would be crazy. Well, call me crazy, because guess what I did? No regrets, so to speak. All right, let's see. I'm glad I did, but it was a long time, and it felt like a long time while we're in it. God, it felt forever and ever and ever. All right, Misfire is saying, I want a Big Brother winners or runner-up season versus old and new era survivors. Well, that'd be kind of cool. Would it be a Big Brother format or would it be a Survivors format? Yeah, you can have a tribe of Big Brother folks and a tribe of Survivor folks, or just throw them all into a Big Brother house together. Big Brother winners and runner-ups. I guess I'm okay with that. I feel like, just from personal basis, I feel like some of the folks that finished 3rd, 4th, 5th place probably could give you a good show as well. But I get what you're saying. The problem is you've only got 26 seasons of Big Brother so far. If you only take 1st and 2nd place, that's 52 players. We've got a couple of repeat winners, right? Do we? Nicole and this, but well, no, not a repeat. So I guess you got 52, but a lot of people would not want to do it again. I think they'd have a hard time filling the staff with that. I think you'd have to go down a little bit more. I think it'd be fun if you had, I don't know, pre-jury Survivor, pre-jury Big Brother, post-jury, like top 5 Big Brother, top 5 Survivor, 4 different groups, and a handful of people, 5 people from each one or something, 4 from each one. And I don't know, do they work together or do they try to flip and align? It's always interesting when you bring in people you've seen before, working with a lot of other people that you've seen before, but they've never worked together. So it's always cool. It's not going to happen this season. As far as I haven't heard anything differently, I still think it's going to be all new players. But yeah, someday I would like to see a little more crossover between Big Brother and Survivor, and Big Brother and Survivor and Amazing Race. They're all CBS shows. It should be easy to do. And even if it's not a full season, because I've told you I like seeing the new folks on there. But even if it's just the occasional reindeer games or a shortened version of Survivor, Amazing Race, or whatever, it would be fun just to twist things up a little bit and see what happens. Try out some new twists before you get to a full-blown season even, and do something. Heck, for that matter, do another Big Brother over the top. You don't even have to show it on TV. We've all got streaming platforms now. Just put some of that on the internet, and let's see how people handle completely off the cuff, weird twist, weird strategy type games. It'd be fun. I'd do it. They do some of that. They've got the online reality games. If y'all haven't ever checked any of those out, there's some fun ones out there. There's people very passionate about that. I've played in a couple of them. There are some hardcore people who play those games. All right, let's see. Patricia Miller saying, I heard Big Brother 27 is 80 days. That makes sense. I could see that. And let's see. Karen Mosher saying, I think Big Brother should be $1 million because of the length of the show. Don't even get me started on that. When I played, it was for 500,000. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'd won $500,000, man, I would have walked out there. Woohoo! I was going to town. We're going to Olive Garden tonight. Yeah, we would have celebrated on the town. Heck, we may have even ordered extra breadsticks. They're all free, right? Yeah, of course we would have. But yeah, 500,000 is nothing to scoff at. That sounded great to me. Of course, I would have played the game for 100,000, 50,000. It wasn't. I wanted to win the money. I'm not a rich dude. Money is money, but it was also the competition, the playing the game and trying to see how you did. That was a big part of why I was so excited. But no, I agree with you. 500,000. Just because Survivor gets $1 million. If everyone got 500K, all the reality shows, I'd be like, all right, well, that's pretty good money. But when they're getting $1 million and Big Brother's getting 500, yeah, someone's getting the wrong end of the deal here. Yeah, and they bumped it up to $750,000. But Lord Almighty, you're filming in one location in a house. No one's having to travel over to Fiji to watch me on TV. No one. They can live in the apartments just across the street. Take them 5 minutes to get to work if you're a cameraman or a production person or something. Yeah, piece of cake. I would think the budget for Big Brother's got to be so much less than Survivor. Now, I'm not the bean counter, so I could be absolutely wrong with it, but it sure seems to me like there should be some money in the budget. It's not like they spend a fortune on the sets or anything else. It is so funny, that show. The part that you see on TV looks fancy. Behind the scenes, like the memory wall that has all of our pictures up there. The front, it looks great. If you look behind it, they've got wires that are just held in place with duct tape and electrical tape, and it's all moving. It's so yeah. I think $1 million would be perfectly fine, but they didn't ask me about that. But I will certainly vote that way if they ever ask. All right, Karen is saying, how about a season with first people evicted? I've thought about that as well because I've got a few first boots that I would love to see back in the house. The problem is there's also people who were first boots who probably needed to be first boots. Right now, if you only do first boots, you're 26 people, and a little less than that because, well, I guess even All Star they had someone who was a first boot. Who was the first boot? Was it Keisha? I don't remember now. But yeah, I would be okay bringing back some people that we felt like didn't get a good first chance to play the game. I wouldn't necessarily limit to only first boots. I would say if you said all pre-jury, I think that would be fantastic. That gives you plenty of people to pick from. And again, there's some people who went out pre-jury because they didn't know how to play the game, because they got too focused on things that didn't involve playing the game. Things like that. But there's other people, I think, that just had a strategy that just for whatever random reason did not work out. Do people who didn't make it to jury just so I can see Ovi get back in the house. I would love to see that happen. There's other people who went out way too early. Could you see Frenchie coming back in? Or Frenchie came in, crashed and burned, and had so much promise, and then he just tried to do so much in his HOH, and the game plan, the way it was set up, where he had to nominate so many people that season, really didn't help him. And it wasn't his fault. It's just the rules of the game that season. Lots of nominations, people pulling themselves off the block. Next thing you know, Frenchie's nominating 2/3 of the house, it seems like. So for a lot of reasons, I think in a different season, Frenchie would play a little bit different game. But yeah, there's I think we could go through and probably find easily a dozen people, probably more than that were pre-jury that truly deserve a better chance of playing the game. So do it. I would love to see it. What if they did have 2 seasons? What if they had regular season Big Brother in the summer, and then they had some kind of special themes, pre-jury, I don't know, regional. I don't know how you do it, but something that would make a mini season different, but still give people another chance to play the game. I think that'd be kind of cool too. All right, let's see. 7:53. This goes so fast. Clinton is saying it's a shame they stopped Big Brother After Dark. Only 4 weeks away. Oh, I'm counting down the days, Clinton. I will say I was a little surprised that they cut back on the After Dark show, especially because they did it during COVID when we were dying for more content. All I can think is that I think as Paramount Plus became more and more of a financial vehicle for CBS, because of that, someone must have looked at it and said, why are we putting this on regular TV when we could have it on Paramount Plus only and maybe force more people to buy a subscription. I get it, but I also feel like if you have just a few hours every night as a little bit of a teaser, people would potentially see that and say, "Oh gosh, I wish I could watch it a little bit longer." I feel like you could have done something where you had, and maybe it's not after dark. Maybe it'd even be Paramount Plus for 2 hours a night. You can watch as a guest or something, and then hey, if you want to watch more, it's only $1.99 a month or something, whatever it is nowadays. I think it's more than $1.99, but yeah, that you could do teasers of that sort. It would seem to me, and get more people hooked. But I think CBS definitely counts on Paramount Plus for bringing in a lot of their revenue, and I think a lot of Paramount Plus revenue is generated by Big Brother fans who are watching the live feeds, which is why I don't think they'll get rid of the live feeds like they did up in Canada. I think, I never say never. Somewhere down the road, someone's going to do something even more boneheaded than we've even seen so far in multiple seasons. Someone's going to do something that just absolutely offends and upsets the wrong people, and you'll end up getting some kind of a shortened live feeds, and it'll just Twitter away at some point. I will see. Or on the other hand, maybe they'll go the opposite direction. They'll say, "Hey, if anything's game in here, we're not having 4 cameras. We're going to have 40 cameras. No, you can watch any room. You can watch 10 different angles from any room. Every person in that house, in addition to wearing a microphone, is also going to be wearing a body cam camera. Yeah, the police do it. You could have these house guests do it as well. Go watch the game. Watch it as Cliff Hogg. See what he sees. See what Kat Dunn sees. See what Nicole sees. And you watch me lumbering around and poking my head in, seeing who's in what room. Oh, sorry, I didn't know y'all were talking, guys. And you can do Formula One does that. I think NASCAR does it as well. You can listen to just the radio broadcast, just the radio of a certain driver. How cool would that be if you just had a camera and a microphone that was only one house guest, and you just follow them around wherever you want, whenever you want? As a house guest, that would be kind of weird. Especially, how cool would it be if they had a little body cam with a camera and a microphone and a digital counter that the person in the house could always look down and say, "Oh, wow, I got 1,742 people watching through my camera right now. Oh, now it's only 200. I guess y'all didn't like me eating," whatever it was. Yeah, and we could keep track inside the house. You could have some fun with that. They did that one. No, they didn't do that. I remember one year they all had to carry pedometers around, and whoever was the laziest got a disadvantage. Whoever went the most steps, I think, got an advantage. Just something like that. I thought that was a fun twist. Just, God, there'd be some sloths in that house that would pay the price. Would that be me? I don't know. Maybe. I think that felt like I moved around some, but I wasn't out there running marathons. We'll put it that way. All right, let's see. Misfire, Zingbot, and Ponderosa, putting the two of them together. Yeah, you don't have a character like Zingbot or Otev on Survivor. They've got to be all serious in that show, right? It's summertime. We're having fun with Big Brother. Survivor's all about, oh, you only have one bag of rice. You don't even have toilet paper. Big Brother's like, I'm gonna go hang around on this giant slip and slide and get slimed, and I'll eat some chocolate bars after I get done. Certainly two different shows. What would they do on Survivor if Otev or Zingbot or Janky just showed up on the beach and said, "Hey guys," started making fun of all of them? They'd probably throw him back in the ocean and be the last you ever saw of Zingbot. Poor, rest in peace, Zingbot. His last day was the first day he showed up on the beach of Fiji. That would be interesting. Karen Loveland saying, "Cliff, contestants could wear smart glasses so we can see what they see." During my season, they did give us some glasses that we wore. Whoever won HOH would put these glasses on, and I think you would hit a button, and when you did, it would record like 30 seconds of video, and it would store it. You could only store 10 or 20 videos, and then you had to go leave the glasses in the storage room. They download it. It'd be available a little bit later. So I know they did this story about a killer chicken and tried to do a whole little melodrama thing one time. And I think when we did our flash mob thing, they may have had the glasses going. When I got HOH and they gave me the glasses, you know what I did with them? I immediately said, all right, I'm going to show y'all all the things that you don't see if you're watching the live feed. So I wore those glasses. I walked into the toilet stall and said, all right, here's the bathroom in here, guys. I walked in each room and I look up at the ceiling, say, this is what the ceilings look like, guys, in case you've never seen the ceilings. These are what the cameras look like that you don't always see. So I did a whole lot of behind the scenes kind of things just to show off all the things that you don't see on the live feeds, which probably means that almost none of it showed up on Paramount Plus or anything, because they probably said, well, he doesn't need to be showing all that stuff. There's a reason we don't have the cameras pointed up at the ceilings. So whatever. But I thought it was cool. And at the time, I didn't know if they were going to show it or not. I'm just trying to be the fan helping out the other fans when I wore those glasses around. I didn't need to turn the glasses on and point them at the same people that y'all already seen for 30-something days by then. So I tried to do something a little bit different. All right, let's see. 7:59. I guess it's about time. As a reminder, July 10th. Oh, July 10th, Big Brother. We are going to have a premiere party in Dallas. It's not confirmed location, but I think it's at the Grand Cinema, which is part of Grandscape, which is up in the Colony, which is a suburb of Dallas. If you want the details, go find Kat Dunn's Instagram. She'll have stuff out there as they confirm it. Everyone's invited. I don't know. When we did it last time over in Arlington, it was kind of come one, come all, no tickets required. Seating may be limited, but feel free to come on in and whatever. It's kind of just open invitation. This one may involve some tickets. I don't know for certain, but just because we're in a theater, it may involve some tickets. But anyone who wants, it's not like you have to be a patron or anything. I don't play that game. Anyone who wants a ticket, Kat will release it. I'll let y'all know once I find out. But there may be something along those lines. So check it out, and I'll keep in the loop as well. But it's going to be so much fun. I assume that Quinn and Brooklyn from last season are going to be there. Maybe I don't know if Mackenzie may be there. We'll see. I'll be there. Kat will be there. Who knows? Who knows who will show up? We'll get some Survivor folks and all kinds of folks, and just watch Big Brother and just talk to other passionate reality TV fans. One of my favorite ways to spend the night. So that's July 10th up in Dallas, and I'll keep you on the loop on that. All right, guys. With that, well, happy birthday to you. Once more, have a blast on your happy birthday. Enjoy your last few days as a teenager. And get ready, just take on the world, because the world is your oyster, my friend. So get ready for it. With that, I'll throw out a final SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all you guys, love reality TV. And again, if you haven't already done so, please consider turning on subscriptions, turning on notification, and hitting the big old thumbs up. And y'all have a great one, guys. Stay indoors, stay cool, stay safe, and I will see y'all next Monday. Until then, I'll say it again, SKD143. Y'all have a good one, guys. And hey, send me any DMs if you have anything special y'all want to talk about next week, other shows. I didn't even talk about some of the shows we binged and all. We'll do it next week. Y'all have a good one, guys. Until then,